Hey guys, FLASHTAG time. Last week we were talking about hashtag marijuana, hashtag herb, hashtag pot, whatever you want to call it, that's what we're naming it. This week we continue this discussion, but from a more personal perspective. I'm joined today with my friend here, Stephanie Salloum. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey.
Alright, so most of you already know that I had a little marijuana problem. I started smoking when I was about 15, 16, a little after school. And it went from a recreational drug to just, habit forming before my eyes, because I kind of liked it too much. And when you're over like something, it gets very dangerous because you start to feel like you really love it and it just becomes a part of your character and who you are. And that was my downfall, After years of using, I guess I was just minimizing the effects and what are the dangers of marijuana. And many of us minimize certain things, different problems in our lives until we reach a breaking point, and that's basically what happened. I used for about 8 years, non-stop every day. And I started off with local, with Press, Vinci, and then when I started getting used to those grades, I obviously graduated to Kush and Jam, and I became an addict. I didn't choose to become a drug addict. None of us choose to become these things in life, but it just happened. And I reached rock bottom, and I ended up in a rehab right in Trinidad, Mount St. Medley. And I had definitely reached rock bottom, and I was crying for help. A lot of people didn't know how bad it really got. And I went to rehab, and I came out, and I changed my life around. So I'm 4 years clean. Funny enough, my anniversary is on 4/20. Everybody's like, why would you choose to go to rehab on 4/20?
That takes a lot of strength.
Yeah.
Just doing that on 4/20.
Yeah, so like when, everybody's celebrating 4/20, I'm kind of like, I'm not.
Wow.
So, I mean, it was difficult the first year coming out, I'm not gonna lie, because everybody's like, Steph, come and smoke, it's 4/20. I'm like, because some people obviously didn't know I went to rehab. And they're like, come and smoke, it's 4/20. I'm like, nah, skipping it this year. Peer pressure and, people don't really know what you're really going through. And I had a hard time, I really did.
Wow.
There's no denial there.
First and foremost, thanks for being on the show and for being willing to share these personal experiences with myself and our viewers. My first question for you is, along the lines of your use, were there points in time where, in retrospect, you should have been able to see the signs of addiction but ignored it and just said, nah, I like it too much, so I'm just going to keep going?
But yeah, that's why I call minimizing the effects, because I was like, you know what, I could quit when I want. I'm not addicted to this. And I used to try, I'm like, I won't smoke tomorrow. And then by day 2 I would break and be like, shit. And then try to go a longer period. And my point is, if you're not addicted, you shouldn't try to stop. Because you'll be confident in yourself and say, I can stop when I want, but you won't put yourself to the test. It's like, I always tell people, if it quacks like a duck, it is a duck. So if you think you have a problem, you have a problem. And, I used to test myself out like that. And that's when I knew I had a problem.
Wow. What do you think is the hardest part now after recovery in dealing with the marijuana culture that is rapidly growing around us?
The hardest part for me, honestly, is I'm still suffering in a lot of ways. I have short-term memory loss. I have asthma. I still deal with people coming down my backs. I still deal with people in society who used to scorn me, and it's hard because, sometimes when I line with new friends and new people and I go out and people who don't know I went through the whole rehab process will be like, hey, be careful of her. She's a pothead. What are you lining with her for? It hurts. It really hits home. And so, those are just some of the things that I face. And one of my major problems is not so much with me, but it's other people right now who I know are suffering with depression, are suffering anxiety, who are suffering with addiction. I'm trying right now to help as many people that I can. My inbox is full every day. My phone is ringing because every day it's somebody that's addicted to marijuana. And the rate is so high. People don't really know. I just need to grab their hand and walk them through a Narcotics Anonymous meeting, carry them through the rehab, carry them through so many different things. Sometimes I wish I could show them my inbox, but I obviously am not going to show them who these people are. But it's higher. The rate is so high, and people don't know the dangers of it.
So tell us some of the hashtag warning signs of drug addiction or marijuana addiction.
One of the warning signs is that you feel restless when you don't have it. You kind of fidgety, like, oh my gosh, when is my next smoke? When am I going to get it? Let me call this person. Let me call this person. That one. You become codependent, and you start to feel like this thing is a part of you, and a part of you. We were born as an individual with a soul, with a gut instinct. So why should we alter our perceptions or our brains with something to tap into what people say a broader perspective of life, when we could pull that out of ourselves? A lot of artists I speak to, because I talk to people all the time, and I'll be like, oh well, when I smoke weed it calms me down and it brings out this beautiful side of me. And on my side is I've been there, and I see even more beautiful things when I'm sober. I tap into such a core in me. It's unreal. Even now when I go hiking, I tell people I see 10 times more beautiful things. I don't feel so out of it. And I'm more aware. I'm more into myself and the world and nature. I'm able to carry conversation with you right now. And things are coming back. My memory's coming back slowly but surely.
That's great to hear that your memory is coming back.
Not like Dory.
Maybe that was Dory's problem. That
she probably smoked weed.
Had too much
seaweed.
Exactly that. What is your official stance on marijuana usage?
Okay, just like anything, we have good and bad. People say marijuana is good for this and marijuana is good for that, but my thing is, there are certain things in the marijuana plant. Marijuana probably has 200 different components in it. In those 200 components, there are probably about 10 things in the marijuana plant that are good, that can do good. But why can't they filter these things out of the marijuana plant and use them individually? But because people know there's a substance in the marijuana that helps, like, let's say with anxiety or with seizures or with cancer, because it's coming from the marijuana plant, people will say marijuana is good for this. They glorify the plant, they attach it to the plant instead of saying this certain chemical is good for this or this and this is good for that. They tend to glorify the plant itself. So it has good properties, and it has its bad, but let's try and strain the good out of it.
I get you. What do you think the difference is between marijuana usage for coping mechanisms and alcohol usage for coping mechanisms and addiction? Like, what is the different appeals to the human nature, I suppose?
Well, you see, everybody's brain chemistry is built differently. We don't walk around with a 3D brain going, I may be addicted to alcohol, I may be addicted to weed, I may be addicted to pills. So you really can't tell who's addicted to what or what we can get addicted to. You really don't know, but with alcohol, it's bought in stores. Unlike marijuana, it's bought off the street. So anything we buy off the street isn't clean, right? Now you're buying things from people you don't know, so it's a risk. These things don't come with labels. Drugs don't come with labels. Does it say it can induce psychosis? Don't take this at this time. Don't do this at the under age of 21. They don't. But yet still, because it seems attractive and harmless in a way, we're curious.
Definitely.
And it's in the culture, our culture, the Caribbean culture, that marijuana this and marijuana that.
We do the same thing with alcohol. Like,
of course.
It's carnival season, and basically 4 out of 5 songs promote drinking rum and jumping up and down and just being drunk out of your mind.
But as a nation, we should be helping our people and motivating them and bringing out the best in our people. Not the marijuana tends to make people unmotivated and sometimes lazy and makes them sleepy as well, right? So we should not be promoting a substance that makes people unproductive. We should be doing things to make people peaceful within themselves as a being, not relying on substances.
Right. Let's just jump back to your experience on your recovery process. You say you're 4 years clean.
Yes.
At any point in time during this 4 years, have you had a relapse?
No.
Have you ever come close to having a relapse?
I want to change for myself. I packed my bags and I said I had enough is enough. Mom dropped me mountain mending. I did come close to a relapse, I mean, being around it for me is already a kind of a relapse. So I try not to be around it. I'm strong enough to be around it, but I don't want to be around it because I remember what it did to me.
Right.
And I had to set proper boundaries for myself. I have not relapsed. I've been around people who smoke, and then I made a decision not to be around them when they smoke. Because just, being around it for me is inhaling it.
Yeah.
It's lingering, and then it's sending off the sense of smell in my brain, and I don't like it, and I choose not to be around it.
What do you think was the scariest part of your addiction and your recovery process?
My addiction, feeling like I had no way out. I went into a bigger depression with the addiction part of it, feeling there was no way out, feeling like nobody understands me. I was trapped. I didn't know how to get out of this. I didn't want to go rehab. I did want to go rehab. It was self-torture, honestly, and I just wished, I never touched it. In recovery, my biggest challenge is staying focused and setting correct boundaries for myself, because I love all of my friends, whether they use drugs or not. I will always love them. Just because they do something I don't does not mean I should not like them or I should not be around them. But it has been a struggle because sometimes all they talk about is their use, and I have different plans for my life, and what am I supposed to talk to them about? Or when I go by them and they start to roll up, I'm like, all right, time to go. So it's a struggle because I don't want to lose anybody I have in my life. I love everybody.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
What was the breaking point or the motivation to get yourself into rehab?
When I realized I couldn't stop on my own.
How you realize it? Tell us a little bit more.
Okay, so
let's dig into this a little bit.
Just like alcohol, they have drunk drivers, and well, I used to drive high, and I got into some car crashes already, and I ran into the law a couple times. My business was failing. I was losing a lot of weight. I wasn't thinking clearly because my reality was very blurred. I wasn't myself. I was not, and I started to miss the old Steph, I really started to miss the Steph who I was before I started smoking. I was very, when I used to smoke so much weed, I was very dead, and I didn't laugh, and I went and dance, and now when I go out, I'm life of the party. And I have a lot of fun when I go out now, and I missed just living. I felt like if I was existing, but I was not living, because my whole life revolved around my next smoke and people who smoke, the lifestyle, and I just wanted more.
Out of life and in general, I suppose.
Yeah.
Wow. Is there anything that you miss, seeing that you've gone through the recovery process and you miss any
No,
parts of
I
it?
look back and I be like, shit, I was real foolish. I could have got killed. I mean, I was up in blocks by myself.
That's not very safe.
It's not safe. It's not. And sometimes, just putting myself in risky situations, and because I was high, or because it revolved around smoking and my first priority was always a smoke, I didn't see it as something bad.
So when you used to smoke, how often or how much you would smoke on a daily?
Alright.
Averagely. Not like
Average.
420 when you're wilding out.
Ooh, okay, so average, when I wake up, I would smoke a joint, and then about 3 hours later, 4 hours later, smoke another joint. That's 2. And then I smoke 2 more lunchtime, and then 1 in the evening, and then 1 before bed. Sometimes about 6 joints or 7 joints a day, probably more.
And that's
Probably
not
more.
taking into considerations linking up with friends in
Yeah,
a smoke session, etc.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a lot.
How much money do you think you
I spent a day.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I used to smoke Vinci, we all know that, smokers obviously know that. Vinci is about $25 and you get 2 smokes out of it. But because my body got so immune to Vinci and press and local, it did nothing for me after a while, And then I started smoking Kush and Jam, and because my body got used to smoking 1 joint a day, it got me really high. Then I got used to smoking 2 joints a day, and I used to get so high. It just kept on building. And we all know like one of those joints is like $250 a day, like one smoke, right? So let's do that by 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess you save a lot more money now.
I save a lot more money now. I don't smoke weed and I don't smoke cigarettes. Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
And then I found myself in trouble owing people
money.
And then I used to steal to try and fund my habit. And it was just a very bad, very, very, very dark place I was in.
Wow.
I don't want to be that person ever again.
What do you think some of our viewers who consider themselves to be marijuana enthusiasts or recreational users should be aware of, and things to tell them, or just guidelines or advice that you'd give our smoking or medicinal users, whatever you are? Just
if you think you have a problem, you have a problem. There is help. You're not alone. And if you think marijuana is not a problem, give me a call and we'll take a walk through some meetings, some rehabs, and a psychiatric ward in St. Anne's. Give me a call. I have no problem showing you all around, and it does have harmful effects. And yes, it can induce psychosis. It can bring on depression as well, because you take a smoke and you start to feel down after, and then you want more because you go down. And you feel sleepy, or you may feel sad, or you may get anxiety, and then you want to get this feeling away, so you smoke more. And sometimes people just use it to escape. But how wonderful life is when we could face our own problems.
not so bad.
Yeah, and deal with it, deal with reality.
So this is a topic that has been talked about all the time. We talk with people who have been through the process, like yourself. We talk to persons who are versed on the topic, like Marcus, but we never really hear about what happens with the family. So tell us how your family dealt with the entire situation and how they were supportive or not supportive and how it affected them.
Okay, so just like myself, I was minimizing that I had a problem. No parent likes to admit that their child has a problem. So at first, my mother didn't know how bad it was because half the time I was not smoking at home. So she didn't really know what was going on. She just knew I was barely eating and I was losing weight. I was always running out of the house. But when she really started to realize I had a problem was when the stealing started going on, because I used to steal from mommy's purse. Mommy's bank account was not cool. And she's like, where's all my money going? And then it was a step in honesty telling me X, Y, Z. So when, there's a lot of families, it crushes them, and the parents tend to be in denial just as much as the user. But
so tell some parents who may be looking at this video how best to cope with a child or a loved one who might be going through a similar experience.
There are meetings for users, like how I used to be. There are help. There are meetings out there, Narcotics Anonymous meetings, where people go for help, and there's also meetings for the parents and loved ones for them to attend, for them to get a better idea of how to deal with the addict in the household. And then they could work as a team and then take that further. But I always recommend people, the best help is rehab for any problem, be it marijuana, alcohol, pills, cigarettes, gambling, porn, anything. Yeah, people are addicted to a wide range of things, We must learn not to judge each other. And don't, sometimes people are addicted to coffee and all, right? So, rehab is the solution. It worked for me, and if it worked for me, it could work for anybody.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Any closing words that you have for our viewers?
Say no to drugs. And there is help. There's lots and lots of help.
Well, there, guys. We had it. We had the good, the bad, the facts, the experiences. We had a marijuana specialist or enthusiast. He is certified. We have a certified recovering
drug addict.
Exactly. So let us know down below what you want to talk about next, what your thoughts were on this entire topic, this video, the video before. Let us know if you have similar experiences, or you've had a loved one who is going through or went through a similar experience, and how best they coped with it or aren't coping with it, or how they intend on coping with it, and just let us know what you think about this topic. It's mind-blowing.
Addiction is real, guys.
Thanks for watching.